Have you ever wondered, like, why, even with all the hype about AI companions, why some people just aren't into it?
Yeah.
Like, having an AI friend always down to listen sounds amazing in theory, but could it ever, like, truly replace those deep connections we all crave as humans?
Right.
That's exactly what we're going to dive into today. We're looking at this recent research paper called Why Most Resist AI Companions.
It's such a relevant topic, don't you think?
Totally.
I mean, you see these AI companion apps everywhere now, like Xiaowai's character, AI, Chai Replica. They all have millions of users.
It's crazy.
And it's not just a fact, like loneliness is a huge problem these days. And the idea that AI could step in and like help with that, it's both super interesting, but also kind of creepy.
It really is. It's like, is this the future of connection or just like a high-tech Band-Aid?
Right.
So this research we're looking at, they use surveys and experiments to really figure out what's going on in people's minds and why there's this resistance.
Yeah.
And, the first thing that jumped out to me was that people actually think AI companions are better than humans in some ways.
That's true.
It's wild.
The study found that people see AI companions as being more available to talk and listen, always on your side, never judgmental.
Yeah, that's pretty hard to beat.
I mean, honestly, those are some pretty appealing qualities in any companion.
Totally. And it's not just like a random idea either, right?
Yeah.
It's like companies are using this in their marketing.
I was looking at some of the taglines for these AI apps.
Oh, yeah.
And they say things like, your personal AI companion always there for you, or the AI that understands you like no one else.
Mm-hmm.
They're really pushing those positives.
Exactly. It makes you wonder if people see these clear advantages, then what's holding them back?
Yeah, what is the catch?
The study digs deeper, and this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me more.
Okay, so think about it this way. We judge a lot of things in life on two levels, right?
Okay.
Like, you could have a car that looks all fancy and has all the cool features.
Sure.
But if the engine's a dud, it's not really a good car.
Makes sense.
And it's the same with relationships. Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
You're saying even if an AI companion is great on the surface, something deeper might be missing.
Exactly. Researchers call this dual character concept.
Dual character concept.
Yeah, basically it means we can see the surface level stuff, the superficial features, but that doesn't mean it actually has the deeper values.
I see.
So we might see an AI as being attentive and supportive,
Right.
but that doesn't automatically make it a true friend or a romantic partner.
So you're saying the problem is that people are hesitant to call it a true relationship.
Yeah.
Like it ticks all the boxes on the surface, but we're not quite ready to say it's the real deal.
Exactly. You got it. And the research found a very specific reason for this hesitation. People believe that AI, at least how it is now, lacks the ability to truly care for us.
Okay, so it's not just about the AI being nice or helpful. It's about whether it genuinely cares about us in a way that feels mutual.
Yeah.
But why is that so important for people? Why is that such a deal breaker?
Well, think about it. True connection, the kind that makes relationships meaningful, it relies on that feeling of being understood, of knowing that the other person truly cares about you and wants what's best for you. It's a two-way street, a shared emotional experience.
Okay.
And that's where people see the biggest difference between AI companions and real relationships.
So it's not enough for the AI to just act like it cares.
Yeah.
People need to believe it can actually feel empathy.
Right.
But why are we so focused on this idea of mutual caring? What makes it so important for human connection?
Well, you could say it's kind of built into us, like from way back. Think about it from an evolutionary perspective. Like for our ancestors, forming strong bonds with each other was super important for survival.
Right.
The people who could work together and share resources and look out for each other, they were more likely to do well and pass on their genes.
So this deep need for connection, like knowing someone have your back, it's not just some sentimental thing.
Right.
It's been driving human development for a really long time.
Exactly. And that brings us to like the core of why people resist AI companions.
Okay.
The study suggests it comes down to what we believe about AI's limitations.
Limitations.
Yeah, both mentally and physically.
So you're talking about AI's ability to like think and feel like we do.
Exactly. The research found that people doubt whether AI can really understand our emotions.
Wow.
Or feel things the same way we do, or even offer physical intimacy.
Yeah.
And all of these things are super central to how we experience and express care in human relationships.
I can see how those doubts would make people think AI relationships are one-sided.
Yeah.
Like if you don't believe the AI can really get you, it's hard to imagine it actually caring about you.
Exactly.
Did the study actually measure this sense of one-sidedness?
They did, and the results were pretty interesting. Participants strongly believed that relationships with AI lack mutuality.
Meaning?
Like they felt like they were putting in effort, but the AI wasn't really reciprocating on a deeper level.
So it's like going through the motions of a relationship, but the heart of it just isn't there.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that the researchers used a special technique to analyze this whole process.
Oh, yeah. They used something called serial mediation analysis.
Serial mediation analysis.
It sounds super complicated.
It does.
But it's actually pretty straightforward. Imagine you're like a detective trying to solve a case.
Okay.
You start with a clue, and that leads you to another clue and another until you've figured out the whole story.
So they're like AI detectives tracing the path from our doubts about AI to this feeling of a one-sided relationship.
Exactly. And the analysis found a clear pathway. It showed that people's doubts about AI's ability to understand, feel, and offer physical intimacy lead directly to the perception that relationships with AI are one-sided.
Okay.
And therefore not true relationships.
Wow, that's pretty strong evidence.
Yeah.
It's like our brains are wired to look for these specific qualities in a companion.
Right.
And until AI can show us those qualities, we're going to hold back.
Right. It's not just about the AI being friendly or helpful. It's about fulfilling those deeper needs for connection that are so fundamental to us. But the study didn't stop there. They also wanted to see if actually experiencing an AI companion could change these perceptions.
So they put people face to face, or I guess screen to screen, with an AI.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
They designed a really clever experiment. Some participants were led to believe they were chatting with a human,
Okay.
while others knew they were talking to an AI.
Uh-huh.
But here's the thing, both groups were actually talking to the same chatbot.
Oh, wow. That's really clever.
Yeah.
So they could isolate the effect of just believing you're interacting with a human.
Exactly.
What did they find? Did talking to the AI change people's minds? So they're chatting away, some thinking it's a real person, others knowing it's an AI, but it's the same chatbot the whole time. What happened? Did it work?
Well, interacting with the AI did make people a bit more open to the idea of AI companions.
Okay.
But there's a catch.
Uh-oh. I bet I know what you're going to say.
The effect was way stronger when people thought they were talking to a human.
So just thinking it was human made the experience better, even though the conversation was exactly the same. That's so interesting.
Right.
It just shows you the power of expectations.
Absolutely. We go into these interactions with all these assumptions.
Right.
And those assumptions totally shape how we see things.
Yeah.
In this case, if you think you're connecting with another person, you're more likely to interpret the chatbot's responses in a positive way.
Makes sense. It makes me wonder if our brains are so easily influenced by what we expect. Could spending more time with AI companions actually change those deep-seated beliefs about what they can and can't do? Like, what if we start seeing AI as more capable of empathy and real connection as the technology gets better?
That's a great question, and it's something researchers are definitely looking into.
Yeah.
But this study gives us a really important insight.
What's that?
While interacting with the AI did make people see its good qualities, like being available and non-judgmental, it didn't really change their core beliefs about whether AI could truly care.
So even after a good experience, that fundamental barrier was still there. It's like we're holding AI companions to this incredibly high standard.
Right.
We don't expect our human friends to be perfect or to always understand us perfectly. But with AI, it seems like we're demanding this impossible level of emotional depth.
You've hit on something really important here. This research doesn't just tell us about AI companions.
What, really?
It actually tells us something about how we think about AI in general.
Okay.
You see previous research on whether people accept AI focused on tasks that weren't really about morals or emotions.
Like what?
Things like recommending products or playing games.
Oh, so the stuff where it's more about whether it works.
Exactly. If the AI could do the job, well, we were happy.
Right.
But when it comes to things like relationships or scientific discoveries, things we see as deeply human, people get a lot more hesitant. They start wondering if AI can really grasp what makes those things meaningful.
It's like we're okay with AI being a tool. But the idea of it being a companion or a confidant, someone we share our deepest thoughts and feelings with, that's where we draw the line.
And it makes sense when you think about it. We're not just looking for something that works in those areas.
Right.
We're looking for something that can connect with us on a deeper level, something that shares our values, our understanding of what it means to be human.
This whole conversation has been so thought-provoking.
Yeah.
It's like we're in this totally new territory where technology is blurring the lines between what we thought was uniquely human and what machines can do.
Right.
And we're facing these huge questions about what makes a relationship real, what it means to be truly understood, to be cared for.
It's a pretty amazing time to be alive. Wouldn't you say, as AI keeps evolving, these questions are only going to become more important?
For sure.
We need to keep exploring, keep asking those tough questions, and keep the conversation going.
Well, you've definitely given our listeners a lot to think about today. Any final thoughts for them as they navigate this world of AI companions?
I'd say approach this new technology with both curiosity and a healthy dose of skepticism.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to ask the hard questions. What are the good things and the bad things? Where do we draw the line between convenience and real connection?
Yeah.
And most importantly, how can we make sure that AI serves us and not the other way around?
Those are wise words to remember. Thanks to everyone listening for joining us on this deep dive into the world of human-AI relationships. It's a journey that's just getting started, and we're excited to see where it leads us. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those minds engaged.